Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. Topping our news, explaining the unexplainable. We're learning more tonight about the man who opened fire at a Texas church yesterday, killing 26 people and injuring 20. The youngest victim, only 18 months old. ABC's Maggie Rulli joins us live from Sutherland with more.
We're now learning that the ages of the victims range from 77 to just 18 months old. And officials here say the investigation of this crime scene is going to take days.
We've had a long night with our children and grandbabies that we have left.
Just one day after losing his 14-year-old daughter in the worst mass shooting in Texas history, Pastor Pomeroy and his wife encourage others to seek comfort in each other.
We laughed together, we cried together, and we worshiped together. Now most of our church family is gone, and the few of us that are left behind lost tragically yesterday.
Frank Pomeroy is the pastor at First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs. His daughter, Annabelle Renee Pomeroy, was inside the church when 26-year-old gunman Devin Kelly opened fire.
We have 6 ambulances en route.
The shooter was able to fire off multiple rounds on his semi-automatic weapon, killing at least 26, many children, some as young as 18 months.
There was 3 firearms that had been recovered.
Authorities now believe the attack was fueled by a domestic dispute.
The suspect's mother-in-law attended this church. We know that he had made threatening texts.
Kelly has previously served a year in prison following a court-martial for assault on his spouse and her 11-month-old child. He received a bad conduct discharge from the Air Force in 2014. The nature of the charge should have prevented him from obtaining a weapon, and authorities confirm Kelly did not have a license to carry. For the past 6 weeks, Kelly was working as the manager at an RV park nearby. He left work on Saturday with a headache and never showed up on Sunday. Authorities believe he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities have just finished reviewing a video of the shooting from inside this church, and they say they can now say without a doubt that the suspect went in there to kill. In Sutherland Springs, Texas, Maggie Rulli, ABC News.
Here on the Suncoast area, churches are rethinking security. That includes a look into situational awareness and weapons training. For years, Sarasota police have been deploying crime prevention officers to religious community to the campuses for evaluations and active shooter training. Firearms instructor Derek Jones started off offering a church training program after the Charleston shootings in 2015.
I've been carrying my firearm to church since 2000. When I'm in there playing the keyboard, but I'm the last resort.
Jones says several churches have taken them up on the offer to provide firearm instructions to ushers and even pastors. One of the most powerful members of the Florida State Senate, who happens to be running for governor, is being accused of groping 6 women and making demeaning comments, and now he is out of a job as budget chairman. Republican Jack LaVallee denies the allegations. Governor Rick Scott says LaVallee should be stepping down from the office if the allegations are true. Senate President Joe Negron removed LaVallee as chair of the Appropriations Committee and replaced him with Senator Rob Bradley.
The focus is, I think, at least from my standpoint, is on making sure that people who have been mistreated feel comfortable coming forward and making sure that when they visit the Senate or they work in the Senate, that there is zero tolerance, and they understand that to be the case.
Negron has ordered an investigation. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office needs your help tracking down a suspect wanted in connection with child molestation. Thomas Basone is being charged with lewd and lascivious molestation. Basone is wanted in connection with the June assault of a 13-year-old girl. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Basone should contact the MCSO at 941-474-3011 or Crime Stoppers at 866-634 TIPS. Calls tonight for an investigation into Governor Rick Scott's handling of several deaths at a nursing home in Broward County following Hurricane Irma. Members of several groups delivered more than 12,000 petitions to the legislature to look into Scott's administration. 14 residents of the Rehabilitation Center at Hollywood Hills died as a result of the facility's air conditioning system going out. The Florida Alliance for Retired Americans says more government oversight of nursing homes may have prevented the tragedy.
This did not start during the hurricane. This has been going on, the deregulation of the oversight of nursing homes in this state, for 7 years.
The same groups asked the state attorneys in Florida's Second Judicial Circuit to look into the matter 2 weeks ago. However, prosecutor Jack Campbell declined. Governor Scott is in the final year of office and wants to go out cutting taxes. Scott is looking to cut fees and taxes by $180 million. The governor's proposal includes sales tax holidays to help families prepare for the school year, a hurricane season, as well as a reduction in many driver's license fees. Since 2010, Scott has cut taxes in more than 75 times. The future of shark fishing on the Venice Pier is up for discussion. Venice Mayor John Hollick is asking the topic be put on the council's agenda. There are multiple beaches in Florida already banning shark fishing. A Naples ordinance prohibits shark fishing from its pier. It also regulates hook size, the number of hooks on the single shank, and other fishing-related activities. Now let's head over to ABC7's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with the first alert forecast. Bob.
Well, Alan, I'll tell you, this morning it was tough going out there on the waters. In fact, visibility is less than a quarter of a mile, and this can be a very dangerous situation for boaters and for commuters, drivers in the morning. I know over the years that I've covered weather here along the Sun Coast, the fog in the morning has been responsible for numerous accidents and deaths here in the state. So you want to not drive with your brights on, and also if you come into a very foggy area, you want to roll those windows down and slow down a little bit because you want to be able to hear what may be happening out ahead of you. A beautiful sunset tonight, a little earlier, hour earlier now, and this was just after sunset. Brilliant colors, but there's a low haze around there, and turned dark now, hasn't it? 72 degrees, and the dew point now at 69, humidity at 91%. That humidity is what we look for, and temperature, or the Gulf water temperature now at 75 degrees. And we have some issues with the computer right now with some data coming down, but nonetheless, we are looking at generally fair skies up and down the coast. There they are, a few showers moving from the northeast to the southwest. Right there near Cape Coral. That's it, though. There's a little bit of shower activity down south of Anna Maria. Not much going on there. We have had some light rainfall continue to move off to the southwest in time, but nothing going on here. As far as sustained winds go, very light out of the northwest, and that's bringing that fog into the sea, too, at times. A sea fog developing as a result of that northwest wind, and we are looking at those winds continuing to stay rather light overnight with the light winds and clear skies. We will see the potential for, it looks like, some fog. No rain, though, really, no significant rainfall as a result of the dry air that's in place here along the Sun Coast, and that will stay with us throughout the entire week, Alan. So I know your lawn may need it, but it's not going to get it as far as the sky goes. You have to, use the sprinklers, obviously.
I guess the fog was getting into your computer.
Yeah, I think you're right. It fogged things up a little bit there.
We'll
check that.
And still to come, girls are going to be allowed in the Boy Scouts. So how do both sides feel about this? We'll tell you after the break.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-307-2040 now and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you the #1 mistakes retirees are making with their investments today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-307-2040 to have your free information kit rushed to your door. Again, that's 800-307-2040.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value, free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.
So what do you think of the decision by the Boy Scouts of America to allow girls to join? For that matter, what do you think of the Girl Scouts think? We asked Dwayne Lindo to find out. Dwayne.
Well, Alan, according to the BSA, the primary reason for the decision was to help busy families. But this decision is receiving some mixed reaction from PAC leaders and parents on the Suncoast.
To God and my country, to obey the Scout law.
The Boy Scouts, known for growing boys into young men and young men into leaders, now making a monumental change, accepting young girls.
There's always been interest that girls want to join Scouting.
Cub Master of PAC 14 in Sarasota, Beth Wietrakowski, points to convenience for on-the-go families with multiple children as one of the factors for the change. A change, she says, should have happened a long time ago.
If you look historically, you know, we've had Scouting here for a little over 100 years, but England has been integrated with the genders for a long time, and Canada followed suit in the 80s, so we're behind the times.
She says parents may have concerns with supervision between both sexes, but points out they will only be together during specific activities.
If there are girls, they're going to be in their own den. Okay, and then it's when we do the PAC events, the Pinewood Derbies, the Rain Garden Regattas, the camping is when we're all going to be together. There is adult supervision, just like in school, just like in church, just like in clubs.
She admits although the decision to welcome girls isn't completely welcome, PACs around the country have a choice.
As they have told the different PACs and the different troops that if you want to be boy only, you can be. What they're doing is they're giving us the choice to accept girls.
And for PAC 14, the choice was easy. Girls accepted.
We've got girls in our PAC anyway that are participating. Why not?
But the Girl Scouts of the Gulf Coast, providing specific gender programs for young girls within a 10-county area, criticizes the initiative, accusing the Boy Scouts of recruiting.
What we're seeing now is that the Boy Scout recruiters are actually following the Girl Scout recruiters and trying to connect with the same families, and we're trying to stop them from doing that.
Girl Scouts of Gulf Coast, Florida President Marianne Servian is skeptical of the decision.
I think it's probably more an issue of lagging membership and need to bolster their finances and gain more members.
And she may be right. In 2016, the organization reported 2.3 million members, a decrease from 2.8 million in 2012. She believes same-sex camaraderie is vital for kids.
We truly believe whether you're a girl or a boy, a single-gender environment, if only for that 1 hour a week, is critical to their character building for both girls and boys.
And according to Servian, believing this important factor will not change anytime soon for Girl Scout parents.
Locally, we have 6,000 girls in our council. We have never received one request from one parent to integrate our troops.
Servian also points out that the Girl Scout organization creates an inclusive place where potentials can be reached without distractions.
Girls learn differently than boys. Girls find their voices when they're by themselves, when girls are working together to solve problems, do community projects, work on their gold awards. Girls will support each other and do that without the distraction and the pressure of having the boys in the room with them.
But for Wietrakowski, she says the point is that girls can now pick and choose any activity.
I mean, I've got friends who've got Girls and Girl Scouts and they love it. It's a great program, but it's a different program. So I think the girls are going to have the choice of, do they want the Boy Scout program or do they want the Girl Scout program, which are completely different.
And the next step, scheduled to begin in 2019, older girls will have the opportunity to earn the coveted Eagle Scout rank.
All right, Dwayne, thank you very much. Building a better trapezoid, back in a moment.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-759-0203. 800-759-0203.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Welcome back. Girls joining the Boy Scouts. What do you think? According to a new poll by NBC News and the Wall Street Journal, 57%, or nearly 6 in 10 Americans, oppose it. Breaking it down by gender, 37% of women support the Boy Scouts of many girls, 35% of men support it. So what is behind the move? Could it be fewer and fewer boys are joining? 2.3 million Boy Scouts last year, down from 6.5 million members in 1972. And joining us for more is Marianne Servian, CEO of the Girl Scouts of Gulf Coast, Florida, and Erica Contreras, the parents of a Boy Scout and a Cub Scout. We should also note that we did invite the Boy Scouts to take part tonight, but the answer was no. So Marianne, I know you said this in Dwayne's story, but do you have any doubt in your mind this is all about the fact that there is declining membership in the Boy Scouts and the Boy Scouts are trying to make it up in whatever way possible?
I think that that's probably one of the drivers. I'm sure that there are others, but you know, I have talked to so many young ladies and so many families of our Girl Scouts, and they truly believe that remaining in a single gender environment for that 1 hour a week is really, really important. And that's what we support. We support keeping the girls and the boys separate for this particular activity.
And Erica, you have a Cub Scout and a Boy Scout. The same-sex component of this, is that also something that you think would be important, or does it really make a difference in terms of your meetings?
As a Cub Scout, I think joining them together doesn't relate either way. I think as a Boy Scout, and they're when matured and trying to identify who they are more so, is very vital to keep them separate. I think you can join the degrees or the awards that they can get, but I think having boys and girls separate is pretty vital to their development.
Did this come as a shock to you and other pack leaders or den leaders when the Boy Scouts made this announcement?
Absolutely. It wasn't something that we spoke about. It wasn't something that we discussed or a survey passed out or anything of that nature.
So they didn't reach out to moms and dads, let alone young men, and ask them how they would feel before they made this decision?
Not to me. I did not get an email or a phone call that would survey that.
Marianne, same question to you. Did the Girl Scouts see this coming? Were there inklings that this may be coming down?
We knew it was coming for quite some time. At the leadership level, the CEO of Girl Scouts of USA and the head of the Boy Scouts of America, they talk to each other. And this had been an ongoing discussion for well over a year. And it's interesting, I spoke to a woman who had been on the Girl Scouts National Board in 2000, and she said it had been talked about then. So I think at the national level, these conversations have been going on. At the local level, we have been prepared for 6 months. We've been having council calls monthly with all 112 CEOs, knowing that this was going to come and how to prepare for it.
Right, and we want to dive deeper into
Sure.
this in just a moment. We are just getting warmed up, and we'll have more on the Girl Scouts being allowed into girls being allowed in the Boy Scouts right after we check the first alert weather. So stay with us.
Take the trolley to Siesta Beach for the Crystal Classic Sand Sculpting Festival, November 10th through 13th. See master sand sculptors create works of art. It's family fun with hands-on kids activities, sand sculpting lessons, music, food, a party tent, and more. Visit SiestaKeyCrystalClassic.com.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these other injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-604-1698. That's 800-604-1698.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Each one of our journeys keeps us young. Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
We'll never get older. Each one Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Why older women should kick it up a notch at the gym. We'll have the details in Health Smart.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
It's bigger and better. The Siesta Key Crystal Classic Sand Sculpting Festival, November 10th through 13th. 24 international artists create massive sand sculptures. Enjoy 4 days and 2 nights with live music, food, a party tent, and more. See SiestaKeyCrystalClassic.com for details.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, a foggy start this morning. Fog in and out throughout the Gulf of Mexico and over the mainland, causing some problems with commuters driving. At one point, a dense fog advisory had been issued for the Suncoast. We could see similar conditions again tonight and tomorrow morning. Dew point temperatures are high in the upper 60s to low 70s down south in the Keys right now. With that high dew point temperature, it won't take much for that fog to form. The winds have to lessen up a little bit more, but it looks like we will see that again be a problem later on tonight. We're looking for temperatures to stay pretty warm too in the low 70s. Typically our low for this time of year around 62 degrees. We'll be about 5 degrees above that to start things off tomorrow. Currently at 74, the dew point 69, winds are out of the north at 6, and the pressure 30.03 inches. Still high, though. We have this high pressure ridge in control. So we'll do similar conditions tomorrow. The fog will be around in the morning, say around 10 o'clock, burning off. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures will respond like they did today. 82 degrees the high, 1 degree above the average. Record high of 92 set back in 1972. And the low was 67 this morning, about 5 degrees above average. No rainfall to report. It's been dry. It'll stay that way, too. It looks like there's no front around expected to bring us any kind of rainfall over the next 7 days. Tomorrow's forecast, the fog in the morning becomes partly cloudy in the late morning, early afternoon. We'll see high temperatures warming into the low 80s near the beaches and into the mid 80s inland. And look for those temperatures to stay above average in Arcadia, Wauchula. Looks like even into Parrish, temperature right around 84 degrees there. 85, not out of the question near Lakewood Ranch. Temperature forecast will drop down into the low 70s by 8 o'clock. We should be right around 72 degrees. There'll be some upper 60s to start the morning off right around 7 o'clock, and then we'll warm up into the low 80s. I mentioned some mid 80s are possible in Orlando, Fort Myers, and places to the north. Gainesville even getting up to 84 degrees tomorrow with low temperatures again in the upper 60s by Wednesday morning. Well, in the Atlantic, there is another tropical system out there. This very active 2017 hurricane season. It is now the 19th tropical depression, soon to be tropical storm, as it makes its way off to the north-northeast. It's way out there in the Atlantic, not having any problems with any land area at this time. It may eventually cause some problems down the road into, it looks like, Scotland or possibly Ireland. Top winds are at 35, expected to develop into a tropical storm, Rena, and then heading off to the north-northeast and eventually weakening as it gets into the colder waters of the Atlantic. Hopefully that's it. But right now, satellite and radar imagery showing some showers and storms around across parts of the mid-Mississippi Valley right now near western portions of Tennessee and into southeast Missouri. Look at this cold air now setting up over the northern plains and northern Rockies into the teens. Billings now at 14 degrees. Quite a contrast. 78 in New Orleans, 70 in the nation's capital. A nice day there. And 65 into Asheville. Well, the forecast calls for some dense fog to be around tomorrow for boaters. Winds will be 5 to 10 knots in the morning and picking up to 15 knots in the afternoon. The water temperature now at 75 degrees. UV index will be at 10. The forecast, tides upcoming. Low tide at 7:26 and a high at 12:51. And sunrise will be at 6:45. Tomorrow, fog developing, otherwise clear skies elsewhere. 69 for a low tomorrow. Fog burns off, revealing lots of sunshine and 82 degrees for your high. The extended forecast calling for little change in our weather right through the weekend. Just a slight chance for a shower or two comes Sunday and Monday. Alan will be right back after this.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
If you or a loved one used a proton pump inhibitor, such as Nexium, Prilosec, or Prevacid, and then developed chronic kidney disease, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Our recent report released by the American Medical Association found that the use of proton pump inhibitors was associated with a significant increase in the risk of developing chronic kidney disease. Side effects associated with these medications include acute kidney injury, chronic kidney disease, dialysis treatment, bereavement, kidney or renal failure, kidney transplant surgery, and even death. If you or a loved one used Nexium, Prilosec, or Prevacid and then developed chronic kidney disease, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-977-4346. Again, that's 1-800-977-4346.
In life after the military, it's our duty as veterans to have each other's back. I'm retired Colonel Greg Gatson, and it's my mission to help you get the benefits and services you've earned. If you need to file a VA claim, remember these important steps. Submit an online claim through ebenefits.va.gov. Work with an accredited Veterans Service Organization, or VSO. And if you need to attend a VA claim exam, please go. Visit this website to learn what to expect.
Welcome back. We're talking about the decision of the Boy Scouts of America to allow girls to join. And joining us for more is Marianne Servian, the CEO of the Girl Scouts of the Gulf Coast, Florida, and Erica Contreras, the parent of a Boy Scout and a Cub Scout. And so, Erica, we talked a little bit a while ago in terms of you really had no indication that this was coming down.
Right.
What has been the reaction to den mothers and dads and the kids? Has anybody approached the Boy Scouts and basically said, what's going on here?
I have not seen anything like that, but the boys and the kids that in Cub Scouts, they are completely naive to what's happening. They have no idea. And once the girls start, to be honest, they won't know any different.
I kind of got the sense by talking to the Boy Scouts over the last couple of days that at least here in our area, and the headquarters for the Boy Scouts is down in Fort Myers, that they didn't know this was coming.
No, they didn't. We did get an email saying we're accepting girls, but we didn't get a survey asking would it benefit the group, will this be something financially stable, or any form of, what do you think? What's your opinion?
I mean, have you seen enrollment decline?
I've seen, actually being in PAC-14, it has increased over the last 4 years in our den. It all has to do with the volunteers, the people that work so hard for no money, for nothing in exchange. And it's that more value is when your kids are grown up, they'll remember you as a parent being, my mom or my dad was the leader of my pack, or I remember when, Dad did the awards when we were growing up, but that's really...
Marianne, we talked about whether or not the Girl Scouts saw this coming, and you said that the CEO of the Girl Scouts nationally was in an ongoing conversation with the Boy Scouts, and was not under the impression that despite the rumors and the talk, that this was actually going to happen.
Right, and I guess maybe 4 months ago, it seemed that those conversations were really beginning to heat up, and there was a letter that the national board president wrote to the board president of Boy Scouts, and it was at that point that we knew they were going to go forward with this decision. And so we've been in the preparation mode, like I said, for at least fully 6 months. In how are we going to respond to our families when we're asked questions? How are we going to deal with the brothers of the girls that are in Girl Scouts? What is our response going to be? And we truly believe that the programs that they are designed for the girls are the best for the girls, that these programs have been created for girls, by girls, and they're delivered by girls. And we think that that's a vital thing for girls, just 1 hour a week without the pressure of being in a co-ed situation.
So is there concern at any level that there may be girls and their moms and dads, for that matter, who may be tempted to try the Boy Scout experience, and that could affect the bottom line of the Girl Scouts?
Well, we haven't really talked about it from a financial point of view. What we're really trying to do is make sure that any of the parents that are out there and considering Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, we want them to understand what type of programming we provide for girls. It is a completely different program than what the Boy Scouts provides to boys.
Right, but there also has been, in fact, the Boy Scouts of America, in their statement, said that families today are busier and more diverse than ever, and most dual earners and more single-parent households than ever, have problems getting kids from point A to point B, and that this may be appealing as a matter of practicality, because as parents, we all know we are stretched thin. I remember my wife was going from one thing to another to another to another.
Right.
I did it.
Yep.
I know.
I had one of my kids in soccer and dance and scouting, and I had school at one point in all of the juggling. And in practicality, it's probably not a bad idea. But is that really worth the other problems that it will arise doing it?
Well, this is a changing world and a changing society on a whole bunch of different things, and the question would be, is this the natural evolution of both the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts? The obvious question, Mary Ann, is whether you would invite boys to join the Girl Scouts.
Absolutely not. Unequivocally, no.
Have there been questions? Has anybody come and talked about it?
No, they haven't. In fact, it's interesting, when this conversation has been going on, the single thing that we are hearing from the Boy Scout leadership is that they have been hearing from their parents that it's a matter of convenience. Well, like I said, we serve over 6,000 families, and we don't hear one family saying it would be really convenient if we could drop our son off when the girls are having Girl Scouts, could our boys join? We've not heard one thing. And even after this announcement's been made, again, because we survey our families, asking them whether they find it to be incredibly inconvenient to drop the girls off at Girl Scouts and the boys at Boy Scouts. And almost universally, they say, no, we want our girls to have a girl-only experience.
All right, so what will the Girl Scouts do? Obviously, the marker has been laid down, and at some point, the girls will be allowed into the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts. What will you be doing then that you have not been doing yet to retain your membership?
Well, we have been doing really good at retaining the girls from year to year. And our recruiting efforts are incredible. We're in the schools. We do recruitment events all over the council to attract new girls. I think that this whole discussion about integrating the boys and the girls in scouting has actually raised the interest level. We are getting more parents and more girls showing up at recruiting events.
Similarly, Erica, have any parents come to you and said, look, I'm just not good with this, and if this happens in our pack, we're going to be rethinking our participation?
We have not discussed that as parents of other packs and to determine what would be our next step into making a solution or a final conclusion in that matter.
Have the Boy Scouts made it clear how this will work? And I did read some things that there will be joint participation, and at other times the girls will be with the girls and the boys will be with the boys. Has that been spelled out?
No, not that I am aware of. But like I said, I'm more on the parent level, and being in the leadership levels, there's other things that are not discussed with the parents.
Okay, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with final thoughts in a moment. Stay with us.
At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book and DVD. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. Call 1-855-395-9803. That's 1-855-395-9803 now.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
And our guests join us right now for final thoughts. Marianne, I guess maybe a lot of people don't realize this, but the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts exist by charter with Congress.
Correct.
And my understanding from you is the Girl Scouts have a charter to work with girls, and the Boy Scouts with boys. What happens with that? Has there been any discussions with our congressional delegation?
Well, we know that the only way that that can be challenged is through Congress, and all of my fellow CEOs across the country have been in touch with our congressional delegation. And it's interesting, in the 115th Congress, there are almost 60% of the women that are in Congress were former Girl Scouts. So 60% of the women senators are former Girl Scouts. So I think we have an ear there anyway.
And the Secretary of State used to lead the Boy Scouts. Erica, are you just going to basically sit back and see how this plays out, and one way or another you will just roll with it, and that you're hoping that your families and the kids just roll with it, or are there still a lot of unanswered questions, and the fact that there are makes you uneasy?
I will be rolling with the situation and see how it pans out. I'm not going to make a judgment or a conclusion to a situation that I'm not aware of how it's going to turn out, because it might turn out a way that we don't know. We only can base on our decisions on history. We cannot predict the future. So I'm panning it out. My kids will be staying and will be staying into Boy Scouts until the end. At least that's what our vision is at this point.
And your kids enjoy it?
Yes. My youngest, Alexander, he actually, when my oldest was in Cub Scouts, he was always, I'm a future scout, I'm a future scout. So he's definitely going to be following through just like his older brother.
That's great. In full disclosure, I am a retired Weeblo.
We be loyal.
and we left it there.
That's great.
Thank you both for joining us tonight. FYI, you can watch past discussions on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And remember, for updates on national and local breaking news, you can download the latest version of our app. Android users, you will get the automatic update. No problems, but iPhone users, you need to go to the App Store and re-download the app. Just search for WWSB or My Suncoast. We want to thank our guests for being here tonight. Marianne Servian is the CEO of the Girl Scouts of Gulf Coast, Florida, and Erica Contreras is a parent of a Boy Scout and a Cub Scout. And when we return, we'll have a final look at your first alert weather, plus former Trump campaign officials lined to Russia for a charge in the Russia investigation. We're back in court today, so stay with us.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812, 800-738-9812.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, the only downside to our weather was the fog this morning, rather thick too, out in the bay and on into the Gulf of Mexico. Visibility is down to less than a quarter of a mile, making tough boating conditions out there. So remember, have a sound device. Just have a device on your boat that makes pretty loud sound to let boaters know where you are. Now, temperature at 69 degrees. Currently, the dew point temperatures are high everywhere. Upper 60s, typically this time of year, usually in the upper 50s to low 60s. And what that means is that the temperature gets closer to the dew point and the winds lessen up a bit, the fog will form, and it could be rather thick at times. Right now, with the earlier sunset, due to the time change over the weekend, we have clear skies, 74, and that dew point now at 69. Winds are out of the north, light at 6, and the pressure 30.03 inches. The hourly forecast is calling for those low clouds to be around. Temperatures dropping down into the upper 60s. Our typical low at 62, and then we'll see that fog start to burn off right around 10 o'clock or so, and then we'll reveal lots of sunshine tomorrow. High temperatures will top out in the low 80s for the most part. Not a big drop there in terms of temperatures as a result of the fog that'll be around, but as far as temperatures go for lows tonight, they will be unseasonably warm up and down the coast. In fact, at 8 o'clock, we'll start off in the low 70s, basically, up and down the coast, and looks as though temperatures even warmer still on the East Coast, 79 at West Palm Beach at 8 o'clock. Future winds, as I mentioned, they will be rather light out of the north, and then out of the northeast by 9:30. They will pick up a little bit in the afternoon. You'll see that anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour. Not a big windy day, but a little bit more so in the late afternoon and evening here for us tomorrow. Well, the satellite and radar imagery, there's some really cold air now over the northern plains and northern Rockies, poised to head southward, but not all the way down here. There's no big storm track right now to bring that cold air southward. There's a few showers with a weak low pressure now making its way through the mid-Mississippi Valley, bringing some rainfall there to Tennessee, Kentucky, and southeast Missouri. Look at these temperatures, 41 in Toronto, 43 in Detroit, Green Bay at 35. This is that cold Arctic air now over parts of the northern plain states into Montana. Albuquerque now at 68, 47, all the way down to 47 in Oklahoma City. Quite a contrast now in New Orleans at 78, 72 in Atlanta and Jacksonville at this time. Well, for boaters tomorrow, the big downside will be that fog in the morning. It could be rather thick at times. Winds will be out of the northeast, turning to the northwest later in the day. We'll start off at 5 to 10 knots, picking up to 15 knots in the afternoon. Seas running 2 feet or less with a moderate chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now at 75. UV index will be high tomorrow once that fog burns off, so keep that in mind, up to a 10 in the afternoon. And due to the time change, we have sunrise a little earlier now, 6:45. The next tide will be a high tide that'll be at 12:51, and then a low tide at 9:31, another high tide at 4:15 tomorrow afternoon. Well, here it goes. Fog developing, otherwise mostly clear. 69 for your low, and northeast winds at 5. Now tomorrow, we'll start off with a little bit of fog burning off. Sunshine follows, 82 degrees. A little bit of clouds as a result of that fog, but north winds at 5 to 10. The extended forecast, little change through Friday. Looks like Veterans Day looks to be great for the big parade and also any outdoor activities planned for that day. And then Sunday, just a 20% chance for showers as a weak system tries to move on in. Alan will be right back after this.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-307-2040 now and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you the #1 mistakes retirees are making with their investments today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-307-2040 to have your free information kit rushed to your door. Again, that's 800-307-2040.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today.
Call 800-457-2317.
Go online or visit a Target store today.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you.
Checking primetime headlines, President Trump continues his 10-day Asia trip amidst tragedy at home. ABC's Karen Travers is in Tokyo with the latest.
Good afternoon. President Trump had a packed day here in Tokyo, but before he got into his talks on trade in North Korea, he weighed in on the tragedy back home, trying to offer some comfort to those impacted by the Texas shooting. A horrible act of evil. That's how President Trump described the shooting at a Texas church. But he said mental health is the problem, not guns.
This was a very, based on preliminary reports, very deranged individual. A lot of problems over a long period of time.
He dodged a question about what policies he would support to prevent another tragedy like this.
This isn't a guns situation. I mean, we could go into it, but it's a little bit soon to go into it.
It's the same approach Mr. Trump took after the Las Vegas shooting last month, when he declined to weigh in on any discussion about gun laws. But compare that to his immediate calls for changes in immigration policy after the terror attack in New York City last week. Earlier in the day, the president issuing a call for unity.
But in dark times, and these are dark times, such as these, Americans do what they do best. We pull together.
It was a jam-packed day, a mix of pomp and circumstance and diplomacy. A state call with the Emperor of Japan at the Imperial Palace. And a red carpet welcome from Prime Minister Abe. Before the president and prime minister got down to business, they fed some fish in a koi pond, at first both sprinkling in a few spoonfuls, but eventually dumping the rest of the box into the water. At a press conference later with the Japanese prime minister, President Trump called the Texas shooter a very deranged individual. But he dodged a question about what changes to gun laws he would consider to prevent another tragedy, saying it's too soon to talk policy. Karen Travers, ABC News, traveling with the president in Tokyo.
Ivanka Trump is hitting the road to help campaign for tax reform. President Trump's daughter was in California yesterday to discuss the GOP tax reform plan at the Reagan Presidential Library. Ivanka Trump says the tax reform plan currently being considered by Congress is a win-win for Americans.
Lowering rates for American families and American businesses and increasing our economic competitiveness will create economic opportunity and prosperity for all.
Ivanka Trump and the Treasury Secretary participated in a tax reform roundtable in Newport Beach, California today. Disgraced former Congressman Anthony Weiner is in prison tonight. The 53-year-old was sentenced back in September to 21 months in federal prison for sexting with a minor. The charge stems from a social media chat Weiner had with a 15-year-old girl early last year. In addition to prison, Weiner will also serve 3 years supervised release. He must also register as a sex offender. The president of Argentina, along with New York's Mayor Bill de Blasio, paid tribute to the victims of the terrorist attack in New York. The mayor says our values will not change, and neither who we are. The 5 Argentinians who died in the terrorist attack were celebrating the 30th anniversary of their high school graduation. This was the deadliest terror attack in New York since the attack of 11th of September. Florida State University is announcing the indefinite suspension of all fraternities and sororities after the death of a student last week. The suspension is effective immediately and prevents the organizations from accepting new members. The FSU administration is focusing on making sure that the campus is safer for its students. 20-year-old Andrew Coffey was found unresponsive at an off-campus party on Friday morning. He died at the scene. Authorities are investigating if alcohol was a factor, but no cause of death has been determined. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us and have a good night.